Welcome, everybody, to another episode of So What Is Your Point? I'm Roger Matthews, and Stephen Moulton and I, my partner, are talking today about the value of picking the right clients. Gosh, we all have to have a client that we can interface with and relate to, and not everybody fits that bill, right, Steve?
Right. It's kind of interesting to me that everyone, I don't care if you're in business for yourself or you are employed by someone else, you have clients. The challenge is making sure you're serving the right clients. And so I think that's one thing we really need to consider as we go forth in our conversation.
Yeah, and it's really ugly when you have the wrong client, isn't it? We've probably all had somebody we would classify as the wrong client. They're difficult to work with. They're frustrating. They're never happy. It's just very frustrating and not very satisfying, right?
Yeah, but it even goes deeper than that. If you want to get the right clients, you have to reach out to the right people.
And that brings up our thought about you'll never turn a Walmart shopper into a Nordstrom shopper, right? Which is a quote from Mark Hunter, which makes a lot of sense, right?
Well, I think if you're trying to advertise to Walmart shoppers from a Nordstrom perspective, you're not going to get a lot of takers because the Nordstrom shopper has a discerning taste, and it's not something that a Walmart shopper is really going to spend the money for.
Yeah, and bad clients never get better. We all think that a client might improve over time, but the more we work with a client that isn't a good fit for us, the more frustrating it becomes, and they generally never improve. I remember Alan Weiss, the famous consultant, talking about that. He said those words: "A bad client never gets better."
Yeah.
So we really must know what our target audience is, right? If we don't focus on the right target, we just don't connect with them.
I think many people take the perspective of everyone's my client, and they try to write marketing content for everyone. But if everyone's your client, no one's really your client, or no one's really your audience. Which brings it to, you really need to focus in on your potential market. Does that mean you can't serve people outside of that market? Absolutely not. But you need to create a marketing message that focuses on your target audience.
When we first start in business, right, Steve, we are so happy to get any kind of business that we will take just about everybody, right? But as we mature a little bit in our businesses, our focus changes considerably.
Right. You'll find that some clients, some customers willingly open their wallet to take care of issues, and others are really stingy and they nickel and dime you and they try to get extras, and you spend much more time trying to please them than you do the client who's willing to open their wallet and spend good money for great service.
Right. And the right clients, as we were talking about, are just easier to connect with, and you'll be effectively. Gosh, when you have a client that is similar to a previous client, you can kind of build on that. And that allows you to really, truly understand some of the common problems that permeate throughout an industry or, a particular kind of business.
One of the smart things I was told is create a product for a market and focus on that so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you get a new client. You can support them better. You can be more of an expert in that area. You can develop a reputation and a brand if you're focused on both your product and your target market.
And our marketing will just get better as we see some of these same issues carry over from one thing to another, from one client to another. And we then become better educated in serving that client, right?
And your marketing message can be clear and concise, and you can repeat it so naturally that people understand what you do when you're focused in on a message and a product.
Right, right, absolutely. And it also allows us to dig deeper into a client's real frustration and challenges.
Right.
One of the things that I discovered over the years with some of my clients is that they all have similar kinds of problems, but the more you understand the depth of those problems, the better you are to be able to relate to those clients and really understand how you can help them.
And it also helps you ask better questions when you're having conversations with those potential clients.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And when you can solve your clients' problems, you really have a way to increase your value to them, and you're worth more, so you can charge more because you've had experience in solving some of those issues.
And that becomes part of your message. And the stories you can tell about how you've solved problems for similar clients and the results you got as an outcome from the service you provided.
And we can help them get a higher ROI, return on investment, because we understand exactly how to solve those issues.
Right. For instance, for years, corporations have spent tons and tons of money on management training programs. And you know what their ROI is? Zero.
Yeah. Wow.
Because most people just sell a training program.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at changing the culture of the organization so the training program can actually be implemented, that is when you make a difference.
And you know, the interesting thing is, you and I were both involved with some sales training in the past, and we've taken various sales training programs. But the ones that really deliver, the ones that really stick with you year after year after year, are oftentimes the ones where they tailor their program to your needs and also gave you the opportunity to implement their policies, practices, strategies, and apply them in a way that makes sense to your business.
Right.
So, Steve, let's talk about how people can really get into this so that they really understand who their audience is and how they can really understand their clients' needs more. A lot of this happens naturally as people work with similar types of clients. But one of the things that I've heard about in the past is really call your top 3 customers and ask them why they purchased from you and what were their issues prior to working with you and prior to and after you've helped them solve their problems. That really starts a conversation, which helps you understand them more effectively, and apply that understanding to future customers.
Right. So if you have customers and you have some really good ones, that's a great strategy. If you don't have any customers yet, reach out to your connections, particularly those connections that would be your target market or potential customers, and ask them in a specific area, what do they see as the three biggest challenges?
Yeah, and really decide who you enjoy working with the most. I mean,
Right.
that's if you're working with people that you don't really like or their industry is not interesting to you, that won't help you much. But if you find some industries that are really interesting to you and you have a passion for helping people solve problems, that changes everything.
Right.
So, this is a little place to get started with implementing some of these ideas. And we hope that you will take this idea and run with it and find your ideal audience and ideal customer. So we hope this has been helpful, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week on So What Is Your Point? Bye for now.
Bye.